Welcome to the Simply Incredible Podcast. I am Daryl, aka The D, with T. Rizzle, Troy Chapman.
Hey, glad to be back, man.
And today we are talking about all kinds of fun stuff. We brought Connor back. I didn't mean to kind of discredit my buddy over here. He's got.
We are working on the stage setup. We just haven't worked that much on it yet.
No, not that much yet. Yeah, I told him I was bringing a poster. He misinterpreted the kind of poster.
Well, yeah, you told me downstairs. You're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, I'm gonna go put some poster up,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Hey, okay, great." And it was for
A 5K that we're doing, because I think people are like, what kind of poster is he talking about?
it was an informative poster of a
About-
local charity
yeah,
run.
a local charity 5K, point of honor for organ donation and whatnot. For
Very
those who
cool.
don't know, April is organ donation. Check that on your license.
Why should we care about that here with the Simply Incredible podcast show?
Why should we not care about people who need organs?
No, tell them why.
All my people know that I've had a kidney transplant, and little Holly is always around. So
Yay! So we support them.
yeah, very much so.
Well, speaking of that, being in April, what do we have this week that we're going to talk about? That was a really horrible segue.
That was that. I mean, I've seen bad ones, but that
I
was
painted myself into a corner.
That was a rough one. This from a concrete man over here.
Dude, I've never actually done that. I've come close a couple of times where I was working the floor and I was like, okay, I have to start turning or I'm going to paint myself in a corner.
That's
Embarrassment.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, this week we're talking comic books, characters, artists, the whole gambit of comic fun.
You know, it's funny because right next door to us, a door down is our local comic shop.
Mm-hmm. Our LCS.
Which is fantastic for us because if you know the martial art community, I'd say a good 90% of them are comic nerds.
That many? That high?
Maybe not super we are, but
if you had asked
into
me,
the
I would have
movies.
said around 70, 75.
Yeah, I think
I
almost.
shouldn't have called him out on that.
Yeah, right. Well,
And that's corner number 2. We've painted ourselves. We've only got 2 more.
this is gonna be a short podcast because I'm gonna go over here and give them a free jiu-jitsu lesson.
Oh, I probably wouldn't get to tap out. It'd be so quick.
The thing about it is they're right down, a couple of doors, and it's just this awesome thing where all the guys, I mean, they're all into the Marvel movies, the DC shows, and you got a comic book place right here, so it's good. I'm glad. Let's talk about it.
And I will say this: he totally did not say DC movies for a very valid reason.
The DC TV shows are great. The movies. Let's hold out. What we're gonna have for an opinion with this year's offerings because Suicide Squad was pretty good. I know that you weren't a fan.
Well, I mean, minus Joker, yes.
Right.
Other than that, yeah.
And I'm hoping for good stuff though.
Yeah, Wonder Woman and Justice League's that coming out this year? I know Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman is. I think Justice League is too.
I think so.
This last weekend, I don't know if we want to talk about it a whole bunch, but the biggest thing that happened in the comic book world last weekend was the release of Hugh Jackman's final foray into the Wolverine universe, Logan.
Yep.
Did you get a chance to see
I still haven't
it?
gotten to see that yet. Everybody I know is sick, so
Right.
And then I was sick when I was supposed to go with you, so
I'll tell you what, we won't do a review, but what I will say is this. Very successful. In fact, the greatest thing about it is I think it's going to start to greenlight a lot of the rated R offerings in comic book movies. If you look at the news right now, a lot of those people who are making the decisions are saying, yeah, we're going to do a lot more of these.
yeah. I mean, it started with Deadpool last year, and now Wolverine. Well, Logan this year. So I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so.
Well, they just announced that Wonder Woman, the Blu-ray, will have a rated R director's cut.
I don't. Right off the bat, I'm like, I don't know what to think.
Well, that's it. I don't know. We got to see it.
Yeah.
And Warner Brothers has actually said they're very, very interested with the right character of pursuing, some rated R offerings.
I could have seen Suicide Squad go in that direction.
Suicide Squad would have been a really good one.
Yeah.
Some of those DC characters could be. I mean, like Constantine.
Yeah, they're much darker. Yeah.
That could be a horror movie.
Did you ever see Justice League Dark yet? The animated?
No, I still haven't seen that one.
Very good. Very, very good.
You mean with Constantine in there?
Yeah. Constantine, Zatanna, not Katana.
No, Zatanna.
Yeah, and who else was in it? Dead Man was in it. Batman,
Yeah.
Dead Man. So I really liked it. Peasy said he saw it. He said he thought it was pretty good too.
I think Connor saw the trailer for it and was kind of bugging me, my son, and saying that he wanted, Dad, go buy that. I want to see that.
Yeah.
So that'll be good.
Good stuff.
But I will say this about Logan. Without being spoiler specific, I thought it was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really good to see him cut loose on a rated R level.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a fitting send-off for Hugh Jackman. You know, the comic book heroes don't ever, go away forever, no matter who's playing.
Mm-hmm.
So what's his Professor X, Patrick Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
He had said that was going to be his last time portraying Professor X.
That's horrible. that is just a sad thing. I hope
it might not be true though.
I hope not.
He's maybe pulled the trigger a little bit early on that, because in a couple of recent interviews, one of the things that he has said is that there's a couple of instances where he'd like to come back, and one of them was in the TV show Legion. Because it's supposed to be his son.
Yeah.
He said he goes, I could see that being great, and I think the other one was Deadpool.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be good. Wait! More than 2 X-Men in that movie?
Crazy, right?
Man, I hope they come with a lot of money for that.
Hey, it'd be worth it if it was good.
That was a great line in Deadpool. He said that. This big house, it's only 2 of you.
I know, right? He goes, maybe that's all they could afford. But Deadpool's got some good things. Not only does he have a standalone movie coming out, Deadpool 2, but also they're thinking about having the X-Force movie.
That'd be great.
Deadpool and Cable
that was a good comic
ahead
series back in the day.
They had a couple of really good books, man. I mean, and it was funny to watch how that title changed, because when it started out with Rob Liefeld, is it Liefeld or Liefeld?
I always go Liefeld. But
if you remember how it started out, it was good for that moment, but it's really gotten to have more of a dark tone to it, more of an adult tone. It was still kind of comic booky back then.
So what else about Liefeld? What other things did he create?
Well, the one thing,
because I know he was one of the guys that started with Image.
He started with Image. I remember him doing that 501 Blues commercial. Where they were saying, "Look at this guy; he's a young creator." Did you like his artwork?
I thought it was all right.
It's all right.
It's not. It's not one of those that will crack my top list.
Right. He's got a couple, things that he's, been responsible for. X-Force was his baby and stuff. One of the things that I didn't think of it as a big deal back then, but if you've ever looked at the size of the feet or proportions of some of his characters back in the day, in an effort to make them insanely huge looking, it's like he drew this regular, like a bodybuilder, but with like a pea-sized head. Like his muscles, there were just so much they couldn't contain. I can't remember what Image titles that he did. They were kind of like...
I remember right off the bat that the first run, it was Spawn,
Todd McFarlane. Wildcats,
and I can't think who did Wildcats.
Jim Lee.
Was it Lee?
Jim Lee.
I knew he did one of the first 4, because there was 4 that kind of came off right together. Dennis actually asked me what the first 3 was, and I looked it up, and doggone if I can't remember now.
They also had Wetworks with Willis. I can't pronounce his last name.
I'm Googling right now.
I love the artwork that he did. What else was really big? Wetworks I liked. Darkness and Pit. Witchblade.
Pit was a really good series. I really like Pit.
Dale Keenan. See, I read these guys' names, but I don't pronounce them out loud to anybody except myself, so I've got all kinds of bad pronouncements.
I can't pronounce people's names. I'm brutal at it. Let's see. Oh, doggone it. That's what I get for going to the wrong page.
I'll tell you one character.
Spawn, Witchblade. Was Witchblade one of the first ones?
Yeah.
Could have been.
You had talented artists like Mark Silvestri. He was in there. Is it Willis Portiso? Portiso?
Yeah, Portiso. Portacio.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I just heard on one of a podcast where this guy was pronouncing Kevin Feige's name. And I was like, that's not how I pronounced his name in my head when I read all these articles. I thought it was like Feige.
One of the other ones was Savage Dragon. That's one of those original 4.
Some of those books were good, but I couldn't get into Savage Dragon but so much.
It's funny. I just bought the first one. It was in a dollar bin. And the only reason I got that is because the new Walking Dead comic had a throwback cover to that because it's the 25th anniversary.
On the Walking Dead's cover, they did it like a Savage Dragon thing?
Yeah, they did a variant, and that was the throwback.
Did you like Savage Dragon?
I didn't think that much of it.
It was just okay.
But I will say this, back when they first come out, they were the hottest comics out there.
Image was.
One of the big ones I remember was Magnus the Robot Fighter.
I remember that. I never read that.
That was huge.
Did you read it?
I read like the first about 10, 15 copies,
Yeah.
issues, something like that. And then to me, I started losing interest in it. But people were huge in that. That's back when they had all the variant covers of it. Everything was metallic.
Oh, yeah.
It was,
Foil holograms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Savage
Spawn
Dragon,
was my favorite out of the crew. I tried to get into Wildcats because the art was so good. I wanted to like that team. The stories didn't do anything for me.
I'm trying to find out which one Liefeld was on when it first started.
God, I can kind of see some of his characters, but I can't remember the name of the book he put together.
Let's see, Jim Lee, X-Men, Robert, whether that's what they were before. Dang, I don't even see it, but I know.
Well, when those things first came out, I remember I actually had a pull and hold service, and I told the guy who was doing it for me, I was like, look, anything that comes out #1, get all of them.
Yeah.
I've got
Youngblood was the one.
Youngblood, that's what it was. I've got so many #1s that were just absolute drivel.
Yep.
Just trash. Like Trencher.
I had a nice stack of them. During one of my moves, they all kind of got thrown in the trash.
What did your Image?
Oh, I mean, all my comics did. My brother, he ain't reading this crap anymore. I was in hospital.
No kidding.
Yeah, so.
Has he ever apologized for that?
Well, it was one of those things that at the time I wasn't really in comics anymore, so it was like, whatever. And then I kind of got back into it, like, I wish I had all those comics.
Like, how many do you think he threw away?
There's a few boxes of them, probably 2-3 boxes.
Long boxes?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so, and I know some of it was old Batman from like 70s and 80s.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah.
I still have most. I've only lost a few, but I lost one to the fire, or like one collection. I lost my Star Trek collection. They were mint too.
If you had said Star Wars, I might start tearing up a little bit. But Star Trek, yeah.
I have pretty much every comic book that I've ever had since I was a kid. If I didn't trade them, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if they went into my long box and I kind of forgot them, they're still there.
Yeah.
You know.
That's awesome.
Dude, I don't know how many I've got, man. It's not. I thought I had a lot, and then I had like a number I threw out there, and then Chris from Untamed Worlds gave me his, and he was like, "You're not even in the amateur league."
Oh yeah, he's doing some remodeling right now.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, and he said he's gonna bring probably, I want to say like about 15,000 comics. And I was like, "Oh, so you bring your whole collection?" He goes, "Oh, that's not even the tip."
That's what he was kind of relaying to me. I was like,
"Wow."
Oh. Hey, put in the comments how many comics you have in your collection.
Gosh, I don't even know how many I have now.
No guesstimate?
I don't. I'm actually in the process of getting a bunch of long boxes and getting them all straightened and all in order. Right now, I have 4 full long boxes, and I've got 2 right now short boxes, and I still need a bunch more.
Okay, that's cool then. If I had to guess how many long boxes I have.
Does that carry the one?
20?
Dang.
Maybe 20? Maybe not. Maybe I'm overestimating.
Well, and you got to remember, mine is, again, like restarting over. So the majority of
my
collection is last 4 years or so.
That's good then.
Yeah, it. Now I would say this, most of it's the new stuff, so it's just a waste of money.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to say that.
A lot of the new stuff is like that. Who we're talking about comic books today. Who's your favorite artist in history? Like, out of all the artists that are out there.
Alex Ross.
He's awesome.
When I look at his stuff, I was talking to somebody, I was like, it looks so good that I'm thinking, is this computer generated? It looks so realistic, just beautiful art.
Love his stuff. I also love, if you ever get like some of their, sketchbooks or their just art books.
Yeah.
You get to see some of the creative process. You get to see like some of the models like that he used. One of my favorite pictures is it looks like a photograph of Superman and it says, "To Lois with love, Clark." and it's the model that he used for it, and it's like, oh my gosh, you did paint a perfect replica. That guy, what a great life he had. He's walking around, he is Superman.
I mean, I don't know if he actually does books anymore, because everything I see, he's got covers, just tons of covers. And that seems like a huge business now. Lots of guys are just doing covers.
Well, Joe Quesada was at Heroes Con one year, and a buddy of mine brought his portfolio to show him to see if he couldn't maybe break in. And he was good enough to break in. The one thing that Quesada said when we got up there was, he goes, the stuff you're showing me is talented, but you need to decide what kind of art do you want. Are you trying to show me panels? Are you trying to show me covers? Are you trying to show me concepts? And, all this list of different things. And I was like, I thought he was just showing you, hey, I'm good. What do you want me to do? So it's kind of a neat little, a take on it.
You remember the artist of, why am I blanking right now? The Dark Knight Returns.
Frank Miller.
Frank Miller. Yeah, because they said he went up to Neil Adams. And Neil Adams, he said he's got a secretary out there. He's like, just keeping people away. And somehow or another, he goes, my secretary, he sometimes will go, all right, maybe this guy's good enough. And he let him slip through. And Neil's like, this is terrible.
About Frank Miller's art?
Yeah, about Frank Miller's art. He's like, this is terrible. You either might need to find another job. And he kept doing stuff. And he goes, I was really wrong about that guy. It was on a little documentary I saw not too long ago. It's like, wow.
Dude, that happens all the time, though, man. Do not let someone tell you that you're not good enough or that don't to follow your dreams, There's so many great stories. I always like to tell somebody whenever they get like news like that and they get kind of shut down, I'm like, you know what you just did? You just have begun. It's the start of every great success story. Go for it. Look at, Frank Miller. Who would have thought that would have been someone that would have gotten shut down?
Yeah.
Now his writing is better than his art, but his art, to me, as an older, comic reader, I like it. It's different.
Yeah.
I like the polished, clean lines, classical stuff. But man, his is something to shake it up.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes you just don't want vanilla every day.
Exactly right.
It's like, give me some Rocky Road, brother.
Now, I will tell you this. I just read The Old Guard. Now, that art is way over the opposite direction. It's Fernandez. Oh, why can't I think of his first name? Fernandez. Something Fernandez.
I don't know The Old Guard. What is that?
It just come out. Issue 1 just come out.
But what's the characters?
We kind of talked about it last week, just a few minutes. It's about this group that
Teddy Roosevelt and all those guys?
No. That's Rough Riders.
Oh, okay.
This is about this group. This girl, she's like the leader of like this group of mercenaries, and they never take the same job twice.
I gotcha.
And this one guy is like, look, I really need you to this school in Africa that someone come in, took all the girls and killed all the teachers. They're like, all right, we'll take you. So, and they're like, how much? And she goes, look, when we're done, we'll bill you. So, again, I don't want to ruin it because I'm telling you, it's a really good story. Artwork in it, not good.
All right. Hey, speaking of that, I read Shaolin Cowboy.
Oh, really? Did that come out already? Or was that the old one?
Old one.
Okay.
Old one.
Because I knew that there's a new one coming out, I think, next month.
His art is really a simplistic art. It reminded me a cross between Frank Miller and Mad Magazine. Yeah. But it was a neat look at a different kind of story. Because this Shaolin Cowboy, this cowboy monk, whatever, he's kind of chubby. He doesn't look imposing. His donkey talks. He doesn't talk much. So he's riding on this horse, or it's a horse, but it looks like a burro.
So it's Shrek.
It's Shrek. It's Shrek riding on donkey. Hey, it's right, donkey, come over here. And I was looking at it, and I was like, for something different, not bad. I don't know if I want to read a whole thing of it, though. Yeah. And it looked a little bit like it was, Wasteland, Judge Dredd style stuff. When he's out in the desert and stuff. So it was okay. I'd probably give it a C.
The artist is Leandro Fernandez.
And what did he draw?
He was draw the Old Guard. I'm sure he's got other stuff too. Let's see. Oh, he's from Argentine. Nationally Argentine. It's like Argentina, not Argentine. That's what he is, Argentine. Said he's known for various Marvel titles, but I don't actually see. He's got some X Factor, which okay.
You said though you didn't like his art.
In this, in that I didn't. And I was looking at other comments too. Other people weren't big on the art, but the story is really really good. It's is it Greg Rucka?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the story of it's phenomenal.
Dude, yeah, he's
So
good.
I would highly recommend The Old Guard.
Somebody who looked a lot like Todd McFarlane, was it Greg Capullo?
Mm-hmm.
His stuff almost looks like, all right, we got to replace Todd. Who draws like Todd? Greg
Capullo. It's phenomenal.
He's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He's awesome. Alex Ross, I love.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Lee. Jim Lee, for years, he was my favorite artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just like, he could do no wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Miller, I do like some of his stuff. I like 300.
Yeah. It's really good stuff.
Really good. The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And his Wolverine run is one of my favorites.
When was that?
You know what? Maybe he didn't draw it. Maybe he just wrote it.
I mean, I just didn't know like what era that was in.
That's where I was talking about his Japanese samurai,
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I don't think he wrote or drew it, but love that part of Wolverine. Love that storyline. Let me see who else. Neil Adams, I really do like.
Yeah, Neil Adams. His Green Arrow, Green Lantern stuff is phenomenal.
I don't know if I've seen a lot.
I mean that's like 70s, maybe late 60s. He's got a lot of great stuff with Batman as well.
I got you. Now, that's another thing I was going to ask you about. What are some titles that you do not read right now? I've never read, but has been intriguing. Like, yeah, man, you know what? One day I want to get into that. Do you have anything like that? Like one of mine would be Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really followed a story arc of Green Lantern. I mean, I've read a little bit, maybe a book here, a book there, but not like I'd like to read Darkest Night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that would be great. I own it.
Yeah. Oh, you do.
Yeah.
So I know the Darkest Night, and then they had Brightest Day and Darkest Night.
Yep.
And they went over several different titles as well.
The Sinestro Corps.
Mm-hmm.
All of those, everybody that I've talked to says, "Oh, you got to read it. It's good stuff." But I've never even followed his.
Yeah, I mean that's been one of those characters. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But I tell you one, it's Silver Surfer. I don't know. I think first off, I love the look of Silver Surfer.
Yeah,
it's a phenomenal look. You know, going from galaxy to galaxy, doing stuff. I think that would be a fun read. Now, I will say this: Green Lantern. Last year, 2015, actually, now they had the Star Trek Green Lantern crossover.
Really?
Yeah, and this year they're having the second series of it.
Really?
And it's a really good read.
That's a neat idea to do those kind of genres because the superhero world is its own thing, and you think of Star Trek, it's a whole separate. I like that crossover. I mean, Batman and the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was surprisingly good last year.
Yes.
And then they have the new one out with the old Batman, the animated series look, which is really good.
I saw that, but I wasn't sure if that was like a variant cover from last year's run.
Now, this is a new thing that just come out this year.
Okay. That looks good.
Actually, it was toward the end of last year was when the first issues come out of it.
I loved that little 6-issue thing we read last year. I thought that was awesome, dude.
Another one that I do want to read, and that is from the New 52. I know
I don't mean to keep kicking Connor. My leg
he needs to be kicked sometimes. But it's Batgirl. And some of the covers on it's done by, I got it written down here. Where did I write it down? Alex Garner. It's amazing looking covers. It's not quite.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's not quite Alex Ross good.
Is it portrait style?
It really is. It really looks amazing.
I'll tell you another one I like. Is it Gabrielle Dell'Otto?
Yeah.
Dell'Otto?
Dell'Otto.
Ooh.
He's got, I would say in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, his name has exploded.
It's funny because when he first came out, he was the first guy I think that I saw after Alex Ross when he did like, portrait style stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he was just like a gritty, really whimsical kind of look at it. Like Wolverine's cowl would go up, like for a foot and be like, he looked like some crazed jester or something. But I was like, he's still respecting, the character enough to make it interesting.
Yeah.
I love his stuff. But his stuff has evolved. He doesn't do that kind of stuff anymore. He's toned it down in that kind of, so far off the wall to get noticed, but beautiful because he still kept enough of it to be interesting.
Yeah.
Really good artist. I love him.
Lady Gaga did the same thing.
Yeah, she tried.
No, I mean, she went from being kind of really way out there off the wall to she keeps a little bit of it, but she's gotten mainstream.
I actually...
And I know that I went way off topic.
But I like that too. I think when you're so far off, it's like, who are you connecting with?
Yeah. And everybody still thinks, oh, she just wears a meat dress everywhere. That's in her past.
Right.
At least I assume it is. But anyway. Gaga, I still love you. I do.
Oh, there's two other artists that I know you like. J. Scott Campbell.
Yeah, I was just about to bring him up.
He's like one of my top three, I would think.
Did you see, I showed you the picture of what I won?
Oh, yeah.
That Spider-Man cover.
Awesome.
That was amazing. Autograph, certificate of authenticity, phenomenal looking cover.
Somebody, and I don't know why, but I always pair these two guys together. I don't know why. Joe Mad.
Joe Mad.
I'm going to screw his name up pronouncing it again. Maduera? God, I don't even want to put this on film.
Okay, what does he draw?
Oh, dude, I'll show you some of his stuff, man. He's got he did what is the thing that they called the Ultimates?
Oh yeah,
Volume 2. Mm-hmm. That's what it was. Oh man, I absolutely love that. Joe Mad. Yeah, that's it. Joe. I'm gonna screw up his name.
I will show you one of the
Maduera.
Maduera. I don't know. But this is one of the Alex Garner covers for Batgirl, right there.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic.
That is awesome, right?
Can we put that stuff up on YouTube, or does that get put down?
Well, no, because I mean this right. Let's see. Can you guys see that? You probably cannot see that too well. You have actually seen that in some of my comic book hauls. I know, that's terrible. You really couldn't see any of that I just showed you. I apologize.
Could you or no?
No,
you couldn't.
No, I think if you get really close, you can.
All right, look. Let me see.
But I'm way over here.
This right here.
I'm old and lazy.
Joe Mad.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that great?
That is awesome.
That is one of the most
honestly,
interesting
you know what?
takes.
When I'm looking at that, the character that sticks out the most for me is Thor.
Oh, without a doubt, because he looks Viking there, not just pretty boy.
That is straight Viking. Leaf Erikson stuff right there.
I'm going to put it up to the camera. You tell me if you can take it and get me to center it, right?
All right. Angle down just a smidge. Yeah, there we go.
Closer?
It's kind of bright. Yeah. All right, and to your left. There you go. See how much that you guys can see. I hope you guys can see that. That's pretty good.
I love that one. Mm-hmm. I love that guy. I love that cover.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole series, his art, really interesting. Like Thor's hammer in that, the handle's really long.
Really?
Like a shovel, with a big old battle hammer on the end of it.
Was that from the Ultimates?
This Volume 2.
Volume 2,
yep.
Okay.
That was one of my favorite storylines, The Ultimates, the first one. Did you ever read the very first one?
Yeah, that was, was that early 2000s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm. Captain America toe-to-toe with the Hulk.
I will say this. Oh. I went to my local shop, and they had sold out.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, because that was one that went real quick, so I had to find secondary market. And that was, eBay was not real huge in it at that time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Now, have you ever seen any of his other stuff, like Battle Chasers or some of those other things?
His own
things?
Mm-mm.
Man, they're kind of like, I don't know. When I find an artist, I'll take and try to follow, maybe some of the other stuff that he's done. Mm-hmm. The only reason I even found it is because I went looking for other, Joe Mad art. Battle Chasers, though, I mean, just really fun, man. Good stuff.
Battle Chasers. I have to look that up.
Yep, go look that one up. Who else do you like? What other artist?
Raphael Albuquerque.
You have to show me something from him. I've never even heard that name.
You saw Huck.
Oh,
He's got some stuff in Huck.
See, I love that style.
Mm-hmm.
Little comic booky.
Let's see. I'll see if I can.
Oh, Scotty Young.
Scotty Young is one that the majority of the stuff I see is his baby variant covers.
That's what's moving right now, but that's not all of his stuff.
Yeah, like that particular stuff, not big at all into.
I don't know what it is. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm usually the guy who would be like, that's ridiculous, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know why that. Yeah, I have to see other stuff because, like I say, that's pretty much all I see of his stuff anymore.
One of the biggest things that you can do, of course, everybody knows Google Image, you know, for these artists and stuff. But if you want something that would be like showing up like a daily dose, it sounds so grandma or like something that only women would be into. And I think I've mentioned it before, but Pinterest.
Yeah.
If you go to Pinterest and you put in, you know, whatever search that you want, it could be comic books, it could be Marvel Comics, it could be Wolverine, it could be Joe Mad, J. Scott Campbell, and it will put up just like the most incredible collection that you can just follow, and every day you'll get like a new couple pieces.
Yeah, because when I remember you were telling me about it, all I could think of is this for like recipes. And,
They have
and
that too,
stitching and stuff like that. And I've been looking at it like, wow, it's so much stuff on there.
It's so much. There's a ton of jujitsu stuff on there. I mean, there's so much, you know, from motivational poster kind of memes, whatever, to videos like, hey, you want to learn how to escape the, you know, X guard? Boom, here you go. I mean, now you can do all of those by going to like YouTube or Google and stuff. Pinterest is just another one. The thing I like about Pinterest is when I follow those different ones, they're in my feed every day.
Yeah.
You know? And you start collecting, you know, man, it's neat to go back and look through it.
Yeah, and one thing's kind of cool, though, if you get off of it for a few days, they'll send you an email saying, we got these 6 new things.
Love it.
I think that's pretty cool, too.
I've got stuff on there. I've got one board that's called Hero Art, and it's just anything that strikes me cool that is just neat, you know, like mostly cover, you know, stuff.
Yeah.
But it can be, most of them are not the famous artists. It's the guys, you know, the unknown artists.
DeviantArt is great for that, too.
That's the other, that you took it right out of my mouth. That's the other one, DeviantArt. I like Pinterest better because it's more focused on your searches, because DeviantArt can be anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be, you know, pencils to photography. So, you know, this, if I put it in, it's good. But I also got ones, you know, like survival skills. I love that stuff. Are you into that at all?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Dude, I don't know what it is.
Like Man versus Wild, I just pass right on by it.
Or what else? Survivor Man. You ever?
Yeah, no. I don't want to ever eat grubs.
Well, I guess it's because, like, you know, I was in the Army. I was infantry, and we did a bunch of the survival stuff. But being outside and sleeping on the ground in the woods, and you have a lot of time to think, and you're like, all right, what if they weren't bringing the food out? Because, I mean, we had MREs and, you know, certain drop-off points, they would have, like, the trucks there, and they'd actually bring some meals out to you and stuff. You're like, you start thinking about that stuff, and then it starts getting interesting. You know, they had us in survival training. We had to, like, kill rabbits and chickens so that if we ever, you know, did get in a situation, we'd know how to skin it and all this kind of stuff. That's a morbid day right there, brother. Because I'm not a hunter. Are you a hunter at all?
Not at all. I went one time, and all I got was cold.
He goes, all I caught was
I was
chill.
freezing, and I'm like, why are we getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning? And
Go walk around in the woods.
This is ridiculous.
I tell you what, I totally am behind it. I believe in hunting house.
I totally do, too.
Population control. But I know this sounds weak. It's not my thing.
Yeah, I mean, I leave that to the trained professionals.
But, you know, you think about the factory farming and stuff.
Yeah.
That's horrid. And we're sitting here, you know, I don't want to kill something. Everything you eat is dead.
Yeah.
Somebody else killed it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm not that, but I love seeing survival stuff like on Pinterest. I got one board that I call is Just Cool. And anything that comes across there that's just kind of neat is different kinds of like weapons or artwork, you know, things for the basement. I don't know. If you get a chance, go to Pinterest, start looking it up. If you're into comics, I mean, there's a billion things there for you to look at. And you can follow my board. Follow my board, and you can see all the hero art. I got, like, I don't know, 1,000 on there. 1,000 pieces. Tons. I can't help it. Every day if I stop, I just put on Pinterest, and I start, save.
It's funny.
I'm a collector. I mean, I can't help it.
I never actually saved anything. I just looked down and go, that's pretty cool. Next. That's pretty cool. Next.
I want to be able to come back to it, though. That's why you save it.
Yeah. And
Recipes,
now
right?
You know.
Now you know. Oh, Paul Harvey.
Paul Harvey. Oh, yes. We were talking about Paul Harvey today. I know that this reference is lost on most people, Paul Harvey. Growing up, I was telling Troy, every evening coming home from, this is when I was on kidney dialysis, 3 times a week I had to go. And on the way back, Paul Harvey would be on. In the insane that he had. And now you know the rest of the story. And it's one of those things, look it up. He's got this like old-timey dad voice.
It's like your grandpa telling you a story.
Yeah.
And the story never thinks that you never think that it's going to amount to anything that you're going to connect with.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be like, the beginnings of maybe Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
You're like, what? That was The Rock.
Yeah. And it's so awesome because at the end it's almost like a Shyamalan twist.
Oh, it's always good too. Is he still alive? Did he pass?
Shyamalan
Ding Dong.
Yeah, his career passed. But
I think Paul Harvey.
I'm sure he died a long time ago.
Because he was old, like when we were young.
Yeah,
listening to it.
I would think so. But
man, if he was still alive, man, he'd just be this. He wouldn't say anything. He'd just kind of grunt every now and then.
Your story.
Food. Poop. Yeah, right.
Poop.
Dude.
Another artist that I know. We're back to the artist.
Oh, go ahead.
But Amanda Conner. Big fan of Amanda Conner.
Got to see your pictures. I don't know.
Harley Quinn. New Harley Quinn stuff. New 52, new Harley Quinn stuff. That's her work.
Are you still following anything on the New 52?
Oh, you mean Rebirth now?
Oh, that's what I mean. I'm sorry, Rebirth.
Oh yeah, I'm reading like all the Harley, Suicide, Batman. Batman. I think we might throw this out last month, but issue 18 just come out. Issue 21.
They're on 18 of Rebirth already.
Well, they're doing twice a month.
Okay, I was like,
every 2 weeks. Yeah, which because when they first started coming out, we talked about this. I was like, $2.99 a copy. All right, now we're getting somewhere. And twice a month. Now we're at $6. Yeah, but
they're gonna get your $6.
On issue 21 is when the Batman Flash crossover, the Button comes out with the Watchmen. We don't know what's going to happen there.
When does that come out?
Next month.
Ah.
So thinking about 3 weeks basically.
All right, cool.
Because like I said, 18 come out today. So 6 weeks because every other week Batman comes out.
All right, and Amanda that you were just talking about is
the 21st, I believe, is the actual date. April 21st, I believe.
Amanda is the
Amanda Conner, yep,
artist. All right.
Her and Jimmy Palmiotti.
I do know Jimmy Palmiotti. Yeah. He's good.
Yeah,
he's good.
He's got Super Zero, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tag team that one.
Yeah.
I think they're actually married, I believe.
Oh, really?
I think so. Because everything you see with her on, it seems like he's with too.
Who was the other guy who did the old fantasy? Boris Vallejo. You know what I'm talking about?
Boris Karloff.
No.
I know you're talking about.
He does the fantasy paintings.
Yeah.
I think I got like a couple of his art books.
Really?
Yeah, and fantastic stuff.
Oh, by the way, Chris next door has a J. Scott Campbell art book. It is amazing.
I've got one of his sketchbooks. I don't know which one he's got.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
J. Scott Campbell, Danger Girl. You ever read those?
I've never read it, but
you need to. It's good.
It's really good.
It's really good, and especially if you're a fan of his work.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who else you got?
Let's see. Well, I'll tell you, this woman I met at one of the cons, she's on DeviantArt. It's, man, I know I'm going to butcher her name. Sora Sung.
Okay.
It's like SOHNG is her last name. I think I'm spelling it right. Her artwork is amazing. I was trying to get her on the podcast, but I don't think it's going to work. Things are going to work out for us. But she does a lot of cons all over. But her artwork is really good. Check out DeviantArt for her stuff as well.
Oh, no doubt.
Really good stuff. I think I think mainly she's just doing, just images and things like that. But some of her sketch stuff is phenomenal.
Check this out. This is hilarious. I took and used to follow a lot of artists on DeviantArt, and look in their galleries and get connected as far as like, man, I can't wait till they do something new. I want to see what they're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this one guy on there that I really loved. It's a real kind of a lighthearted, kiddie type of comic booky look that he does. Mm-hmm. His name is Tom Bancroft.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, man, love it. I mean, to where I was following him for a couple of years, I really loved. Like, I was like, if I wanted to emulate, it's not so detailed like Jim Lee or something. I could imitate that. I could pull that kind of a look off. Well, I go to a Comic-Con down at Heroes Con, And one of the things I do is, get all of these guys to take in, draw, some commissions for me. And I had this one guy do a piece, and I just loved how it came off. And I just found him, I was just going around and saw it. And how artists will always have their work up.
Yep.
I saw this guy's style. I was like, oh, I love that style. It's so good, man. There's something so familiar about it. And I get it done. And because of the way that his name is put on DeviantArt, it's one word, like a nickname. And you remember how I was saying, the reason I can't pronounce any of these names is because I don't pronounce them out loud. I read them to myself. So, I've got my own pronunciation.
Exactly right. Exactly.
Willis Porticio. I was like, I don't know if that's right or not, but that's what it is in my head. And I go to this thing, and I've got his nickname that I've always seen. It's called Tomb Bancroft. And I always thought, maybe it's like Tomb Raider Lara Croft put together. When I get back from the con, I look at the picture that I've got, and I'm looking, Tom Bancroft, Tomb Bancroft. It was him. I had sat there and had a conversation with him, the nicest guy in the world, and I did not give him the props that if I knew it was him, I would have fawned all over him. Well, I love your stuff,
I remember this last year
I didn't
when we
even
were
know
there.
it was him.
I never saw you fangirl before until you were sitting there talking.
Red
to
J.
I was like this is a side of Troy I've never seen.
That was the other guy I was going to bring up, and I cannot remember his real name. He's an Australian. He's a redhead, so his nickname is Red J. And I saw him at the con. He's another guy whose stuff I just adore. And when I saw him, dude, I got all fangirl geeky on him.
Because
he was even kind of like, it's all right, mate. Just chill out a little bit.
That's how you look. I got this book. This is awesome.
I felt so stupid afterwards. You're like, dude, you really need to tone it down next time you talk to that guy. I think he might think you're stalking him.
He's like, please, I need some help. Bring the Bobbies over.
Dude.
Wait, that's a totally different country. The Bobbies.
Where are you from? Austria. Shrimp on the Bobby. No, that guy, he was such a nice guy. And I felt like if I had been able to not fanboy out, that I could have just been chilling with him and, had a
because
decent
when I was sitting there, I was watching, I was like, this guy seems like the most decent dude around.
He's totally cool, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, did you ever go and see his site on DeviantArt?
I never did.
I gotta send you that, and I tell you what, I'll even try to find it and put it in the comments for you guys. Check out this guy's art, fantastic. In fact, I'll put a whole list of the guys that I'm talking about, so you guys can reference them. You too. Put the names.
If you remember.
I did pretty good with the comments last time.
Yeah, I'll tell you somebody else that I really like his artwork, and maybe just because he's been on our podcast before.
Mr.
Matt Slay.
He's fantastic, dude. He's so talented.
Yeah. One day I was over there. He was next door over at the shop next door to us. And I was like, I never could draw very well to begin with. But I was like, one of the biggest problems I had was hands. He's like, most people have this problem. He goes, and he's just sitting there. He turns over something he was working on. He just starts sketching a hand. He goes, you just need little lines here, a little knuckle there, something like that. I'm like, okay, I still can't do it. It's amazing how in a minute you just drew this beautiful hand.
Do you draw? I didn't know you drew.
No.
I mean, but you played with it?
When I was young, yes.
Yeah, okay.
The first thing I started trying to draw was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, cool.
I actually did this one really good of Mike coming out of a sewer.
You still got it?
No. I wish I did because it looked really good. I mean, I drew it and everything. It's got that nice head. Looks like almost like a football. and crayon colored everything. I was like, it looks awesome to me. And if I saw it now, I'd be like, this is horrible, I'm sure.
Well, I can draw only in as far as if I'm looking at something simple, I can Xerox it.
Yeah.
And I don't mean simple like a stick figure. I mean somebody that's not being so detailed. I could probably do a pretty decent sketch on like a Jim Lee if it wasn't colored. If it was just the lines that I was Xeroxing, and it'd be painstaking. And to me, that's not talent.
Yeah.
To me, that's copying.
Well, I will say the turtle thing is I did. I didn't like sketch over it, but I mean, you see a picture,
Right.
and you do it from that. So wait, when you were young, did you ever do the Art Institute thing?
No, I thought about it, but
I did.
Did you? What'd you
Yeah,
think?
Well, I mean, I just that turtle that they had.
Oh, that. No, I drew it. I never sent it in.
Yeah,
They had a turtle or a teddy bear too.
Yeah, I remember the turtle because I did the turtle, and he had the little old school hat on, like the kangaroo hat. You know what I'm talking
Oh
about?
yeah. I can see it in my head.
Yeah,
Man.
and I never sent it in.
Dude, I love doing those. My mom, like always at Christmas, I mean, one of the things I was really into because I was so into comic art that she would get me, art supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Like sketchbooks and new pencils or a pencil case and all these other like watercolors and stuff in there. And I was just like, oh. I still do it. Like, it's one of the most relaxing, fun things in the world.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'll tell you, this is embarrassing as heck, but it is the most soothing thing. Magnadoodle.
Magnadoodle. I remember this name. Like, why can't
Right.
I think of Magnadoodle
It's
right off the
it's
hand?
as big, it's probably about yay big, and all it is like a pen.
They can't get that on here.
They can't see that.
I mean, they can see your hands, but I'm thinking they're not going to be able to figure out what by your
You see this?
because for those who don't, he's 7'6".
Yeah, it might be a bad reference, right? Can you see this?
Yeah,
How's
it's
this look?
about Connor's shoulders deep.
Connor, screw Connor. All right, but it's probably about this big, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
But the thing about this, it's one of those things for a toddler. It's got like a magnet for a pen, and when you draw on it, the magnetic filings stay up.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, now I remember.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it was what my first thought was light bright.
Oh, dude. I tell you what, I got that for Christmas one year. I bet you I stepped on light bright little pegs for like
You're
the next
not
30
kidding.
years.
You are not kidding. Those things are brutal.
That's enough to make you learn how to cuss when you're a kid. You don't know how to do it?
Yeah.
You feel like Yosemite Sam?
I don't know how.
Fraggle striking.
If I had the guns, you shoot and you come off the ground.
Oh, terrible. But
By the way, they did a great job with Yosemite Sam back in the day.
oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
In fact, those artists, they were ones that I actually started trying
Who
to.
actually did that?
Gosh.
Hanna and Barbera, but
Yeah, I think.
I mean, it wasn't Disney that did.
No. Tex Avery, I know was maybe one of the director, but I think he did some of the artwork too.
I mean,
He's a genius. If you've ever heard anything about Tex Avery with the Looney Tunes, he's a big part of the reason that was Bugs in his world. He created a lot of that.
And one thing that people don't understand about that old stuff, everything you saw on TV was artist drawn. It was no CGI back then. Every panel was artist drawn, which it blows my mind.
Well, it was more obvious to see that when they were running through the pasture,
Yeah.
and you'd see the same tree show up.
Yeah.
And passing, and you're like, where is he going?
Bigfoot and Wild Boy was a cartoon.
Bigfoot and Wild Boy
Run
never
through the
did
same
that.
run through the same trees.
They never did that. I don't know why you keep saying that. That's not true. That's art. But
one of the still I'll say that was one of the best nights. We're sitting there watching
Bigfoot
that.
Wild Boy rules, man.
Yeah,
Bayaba. Hey,
love
but
it.
the Magnadoodle, one of the things I think that is so relaxing is that I can sketch on. I keep it really simple. Then I just done.
Yeah.
The worst is when I nail something that I just really like. I'm like, oh. I mean, like sometimes I'll get my phone, take a picture of that because it's not gonna last. Great stuff.
Well, some people do amazing stuff with Etch-a-Sketch.
Oh,
And somehow or another, they take it apart and get the filings out so it won't rub off, and they can save them. Like, how do they do that?
yeah, I don't know. Speaking of Etch-a-Sketch, did you see that thing? It was on Facebook a while back. There's this autistic guy. He's a black guy in New York City, severely autistic, but they'll take and give him a helicopter ride over like New York City, like just for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that, just driving him around like that, and he's just looking. And he will go back, and they have like this huge mural that he'll work on. Like, I mean, it's the size of a huge wall, like 30, 40 feet. And he'll sit there with a pen and recreate the entire city.
Wow.
I mean, you talk about Rain Man, yeah.
That is insane.
Unreal.
I need to see this. That's awesome.
It's all black and white. It's just pen and ink and stuff, but it's amazing. The detail that this in, it's unreal.
Now, when you get covers, do you want one? If you have like the color cover, would you want a sketch of that same cover?
On some.
Yeah.
Some of the whole variant cover culture thing that they're trying to do.
Oh yeah.
waste of money, waste of time. Doesn't matter.
I'm glad I don't buy everything. Oh wait, I do buy.
Yes, you
everything.
do. Waste of your money. Waste. But there are some artists that anything that I can get from them that I can just enjoy in a different aspect, I'll dig. J. Scott Campbell's one I would do that. Joe Mad is one I'd do that. Jim Lee, Alex Ross. One of my.
I've never seen a sketch of Alex Ross work.
Dude, I'll have to bring that book in for you. I think it's called Mythology, and it's got his Alex Ross Superman with bullets bouncing off of him with just this grin. But inside, he's got a bunch of his sketches. He's an artist. He's not just a like you think, oh, he's a painter. Who does the art? One of the coolest things is when he paints over somebody else's sketches.
Really?
He'll take.
I've never seen that.
Oh,
that's awesome.
You know the very famous Jim Lee picture of Superman and Batman. They're both kind of got one leg up on like a side of a building, and they're facing away from each other.
Yeah.
He took that and did his painting on it.
Wow.
Unreal.
That's awesome.
That
is awesome.
To be honest, it was weird because I like them both. Like Alex Ross didn't make me not like Jim Lee's version, but boy, just another depth of appreciation. I think I've got another one. I think Alex Ross. In fact, I bought this one. It's framed at my house. It's been so long since I've looked, at who did what. John Romita drew Spider-Man and the Green Goblin.
Yeah, that's somebody we should have mentioned too. Romita Senior and Junior.
Both, and I like both their styles.
Absolutely amazing.
Love them. The painting that he did over John Romita's art. I'll take a picture of that and send it to you. It's one of my favorite pieces,
That's
man.
cool.
And it's not a poster. It's an art print. It's really nice. It's something. I think I got it literally on eBay or something though. But I was like, yeah, it was awesome. John Romita, I loved Wolverine Jr. His Wolverine stuff, like Enemy of the State. Did you ever read that story?
Yeah. It's been a long, long time, but
That's
it was
good though,
really,
right?
really good.
Really good. And Senior Spider-Man.
What? Oh man,
loved his Spider-Man
Romita
stuff.
Jr. was talking to somebody. Man, it was on a documentary, and I shouldn't even try to tell the story because I can't remember it. But he's talking, and the guy was like, "Man, I love the face on that." He goes, "You should, because it's just that guy's face. Where I basically put some of my stuff on it, which it's like a different character though."
Oh, okay.
And in my mind, I'm thinking it was Wolverine that he made, but it was another artist's different character that he just made into Wolverine.
This was on a documentary?
Yeah.
If you can, put that in the show notes.
All right, because I know it was on Amazon, so I have to find that and then let you know.
Hey, there's a couple. This is a breakaway from comics into the UFC. They've got on Netflix now 2 different UFC documentaries. One, a documentary on Jose Aldo, and something. The other one on the Greg Jackson Winklejohn camp. It's called The Hurt Machine.
I was getting ready to watch that. Was that good?
I didn't see him yet. Kyler just told me about him like last week, and until we were talking, I didn't remember.
I'm actually writing down my notes so I don't forget to do this.
See, that's why he says I always forget, because I don't take and make these notes. Hey,
Well,
put on there, make a note to remind me about the notes I'm supposed to do. See, this is why we need Peasy on the Google.
Well, here's the thing.
Peasy,
Dennis Hayes.
come back. Oh,
Dennis Hayes, he said one of the smartest people he's ever met, and I'm sure he's going to hate me for saying this, was you, because you never do notes and you always remember everything.
no, I don't. I just fool you guys really good.
So you are nothing but a dumb concrete man.
I'm a
that
dumb
was his, not
concrete.
mine.
Hey, let me
that
tell you,
was
you
that
can
was
say
the
what-
Fire Marshal Bill over there.
You can say what you want. He dropped in on me the other day.
Yeah, he told me his comment, and I wasn't feeling well that day.
Oh, man.
There's a
A big shout out to Dennis. It was so cool because he goes, "Hey, I'm coming to the Berg. I want to drop in and see you." And it was Friday night, and I had just gotten home from work. I was gonna jump in the shower, and I was like, "How far? Where are you at on the road?" And he told me. I was like, "Okay, that's 10 minutes. Come over right now. I'm not getting in the shower." And I can't tell you, I don't know how long it's been since I'd seen Dennis. Dennis is a big friend of the show. For those of you guys who don't know, Dennis was my brother's roommate in college. And we started I'd come up and visit Craig, my brother, and I started telling them that I was doing jiu-jitsu. So he was like, man, I did judo before, man, and we started rolling, you know, and he's like, I'm getting back into it. Before I knew it, man, he just took off and left me in the dust. He's just
one of those guys. You look at him, you don't think that much.
He's awesome.
But
he's
you see
really, really
you
good.
see him in a cage fighting. You see him just, grappling with people. It's mind blowing.
He's great.
How fluid he is doing stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's insane.
And you know what I love about him too? Like when we got together, I hadn't seen him in years, because both of us own schools and have families, and where we would always make the trek back and forth to train with each other. It's just not that kind of time anymore.
Yep.
And one of the things that we enjoyed was that we just didn't skip a beat. It was like we'd never missed a day.
Yep.
It was awesome. So what were we talking about with Dennis? He complimented me. I knew what you said. I just wanted to bring it up again.
Yes. I probably shouldn't have brought. Again, I apologize, Dennis.
What did he say again?
Said you're an idiot. Said you're a blathering
almost
idiot.
got it 3 times.
A blathering idiot.
Almost. Well, I am.
One thing we did just talk about. I know I'm going back to the comics again. Spider-Man.
Yes.
And one of the best, I thought, looking Spider-Man, best artwork on Spider-Man, Todd McFarlane.
Dude, loved it. I hate saying dude. I'm like Bill and Ted. Dude, it's fantastic.
But
hey, I've noticed that I've been saying that during this, and I was like, I'm not gonna take and fess up. That's just who I am.
But
I feel like that surfer on YouTube. Dude, I got tubed, man, and bra. I love that. Totally pitted, man.
That's awesome.
I'm trying not to say dude every time.
Dude.
But
anyway, one of the things that he said that he really loved about I guess he's patting himself on the back, McFarlane.
Yeah.
He said, the web. He changed the web.
Love what he did with the web.
It's gorgeous.
It doesn't make sense to me, though. Okay? And what I'm saying is this.
Have it coming out kind of like wrapped around each other, almost like a rope coming out?
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is, because a rope is wrapped around each other, but it's still continuity as a single line.
Right.
His thing has a single line with all of these attachments kind of spiraling. Doesn't make sense, and I don't care a bit. I was like, keep doing it.
Yeah.
I love it. Did you ever see his work with Wolverine, Spider-Man crossover? I think it was called Perceptions.
I have not read that.
Awesome. Both of them are on the trail of, I think, like a child abuser, and the Wendigo is in the mix. And it's fantastic. Oh, it's a good one. I'll have to take and see if I can't scoop it up and let you borrow it.
Okay, we've only got a few minutes left, but
Okay.
what is some of your favorite comic book, maybe cover or the issue itself by whatever artist you want to talk with?
Oh, boy. I love that Ultimates cover. Love that.
So right off the bat, my first one I thought of, because we just talked about McFarlane, was that Amazing Spider-Man 300.
Where he's all bunched up like in a cannonball and shooting
them out.
Love that.
That's a great cover.
Yeah. Let me see, what else do I like?
Alex Ross. I love the Marvels covers.
What about his Spider-Man? Not the one where he's on the wall standing on it fighting the Green Goblin, but I've got the hardcover, and it's Spider-Man like in a spotlight crawling on the wall going downward.
I've not seen that.
Dude,
one,
it's
I don't
great.
think.
Fantastic. It's the hardcover of Marvels. It's one of the versions, I guess.
I mean, if you see the 4 issues, well, there's actually issue 0 that I've never gotten, but the 4 issues, those covers are just amazing.
I've got those
that
individual.
Silver Surfer one with
where you can see the reflection.
Yeah,
the angel kind of like carrying the person.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The Spider-Man
Green Goblin and the eye.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say right there. That's just gorgeous.
Not only is it pretty, but those are, especially that Green Goblin one, I was like, how creative. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
To have that.
Now, there's one that he did. I cannot think of what comic it was, but I assume it's a Spider-Man, but it's just Green Goblin's face on the cover. Just the entire cover. It is one of the most gorgeous covers. At the same time, it's almost scary.
Oh, that's good.
It's a beautiful thing.
One of the covers that I really like is one that you told me about, where it's the Joker's face with bats making it.
Yeah. Detective Comics 880.
880.
Okay. I took a long time trying to find that thing.
You found it though, right? Didn't Chris get it for you or something?
No, I got it at a show.
Okay.
It was down in which one show was it? Might have been Raleigh. Maybe I picked it up, but it doesn't matter where I got it. But it was beautiful cover.
That
Tidewater. That's what we got.
Tidewater.
Tidewater Con.
That Wolverine Frank Miller run, where Wolverine's on the front cover and he's got his claws up like this, and you can see the claws, and he's just like this.
Yeah.
And there's another one, and I think it was McFarlane. He drew the claws, and you can see in the reflection of the claws, it's the Hulk, like coming after Wolverine. Fantastic.
Let's see if this picture clears up.
What are you looking for?
This Green Goblin cover. That I don't know what that is, but that's not it. No, that's a Dynamic Forces kind of variant of it. But I'll find. I'll send you a picture of it. But because I bought that at a show, and it was actually in a cheap bin too. But I mean, if I find Alex Ross covers, I'm gonna pretty much try to buy it.
Especially for $1. It's like, dude, that's one of his, like an 8x11 print would be good for $1, let alone a whole book. Another one. Did you see X-Men First Classes covers?
That's it.
I remember that.
It is one of the.
That's fantastic.
I mean, it's one of those things that's gorgeous, yet it's somewhat terrifying.
It is.
Let's see if you guys can see this.
Imagine seeing that.
Let's see. Open up close. Let me see.
Can you see it?
Let me see. You guys see that up and in? Look at how terrifying that looks. That's something else.
That is good.
That artwork right there. I know y'all heard nothing I just said, and y'all are probably better for it.
It wasn't important. I love that though. Hey, now what's the rule on YouTube as far as us showing stuff like this? Could we take and put that in post-production, or is it?
Well, now I with live stuff like this, I can't really.
Is this live?
Well, I mean, record it live.
Oh.
I mean, I don't really know how to actually edit stuff into it yet. At some point, I'll get that technology where I can edit stuff in.
You got JPZ. Hold on. Peasy.
Yeah.
He's on the side of
Yeah,
it.
he took a nap over there. One day, y'all get to see him, too.
He's going to be our intern.
Yes.
He's going to also be responsible for decorating this podcast set.
Because this is kind of brutal here. Because I got to be honest, I really thought we'd have something different this week. We didn't.
We're hitting the ground running. All right, hey, is that it for this week?
That's it. One thing I would like to know is tell us some of your favorite artists, if y'all have gotten this far in the podcast. Some of your comic book covers or favorite comics. You know, anything in comics is, we're diehard comics, and maybe it's something we haven't seen, haven't read. We can get into as well.
And something that you are excited about, and if we've missed it, man, I'd appreciate a good lead on a good run. That'd be good.
Because I know, there's so many great artists out there. I know we missed a ton of them.
Oh, without a doubt.
And that's one thing I hate about doing stuff like that, talking about artists, and then we're like, we're missing something. I know, right? Most of the time on the way home, I'm like,
part A.
We forgot.
Yeah, this is just part A.
Yeah, that's it. But anything else?
That's it, man.
And you guys have an incredible day.
See ya.